Hey, this is John Smith, a security engineer for Extra Hop Networks. Today I want to talk about how we can look for potential phishing campaigns by observing the referrers. Now this is something that's normally done with logs. Today we're going to do it directly off the wire. One of the challenges with looking for referrers in logs is that it can be a largely forensic exercise. If you look, I read a white paper from SolarWinds that said, a large web farm might produce anywhere to between 3,000 and 1,100 events per second. Around 1,100 was what they said the peak average would be. Cast that across a 6 to 8 hour day, and you're looking at 21 million to 32 million alerts or events that have to be parsed, indexed, and you're going to pay to index those. When maybe 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000 are actually an actionable referrer. So again, like I said, that's largely a forensic exercise, and it's certainly tough to make that a real-time endeavor. Here we're going to use Extra Hop, and we're going to use Wire Data Analytics to look for suspicious referrers or referrers that we're not expecting. So if you look here, we've actually created an array for the referrers that we expect to see. And we're looking for something else. We're also looking for what I call a double-dotted referrer. So a lot of times if you look at a phishing site, you'll see paypal.com.somephishingsitename.ru. Or you might see bankofamerica.com.somephishingsite.cn or .uk, UR, or IR. The point is that the .com dot or the .uk dot, whenever you see your namespace followed with a double dotted domain, that could be an indication, especially if it's in a referrer, that could be an indication of an issue. So if I go to in this case, I'm sending the data to Splunk. So I have Splunk here running on a 30-second update. And what I want to do is go ahead and go and simulate a phishing victim. So here I'm at my account verify. I've clicked the email. I've fallen for it hook, line, and sinker. I've put my information in, and now it's going to redirect me back to the legitimate site. And there you'll see immediately I'm getting some referrer violations in addition to getting the double dotted referrer. So this can be an easy tell for when somebody is trying to phish your customers, whether there's an ongoing phishing campaign. If you have a site where you log into a bank or a site where you log into a financial institution, you should know what referrers you expect to see, and at a minimum be able to keep an inventory of those referrers that you are expected, and then to alert folks on if you observe referrers that don't belong or if they're not normal, especially if you see the double dotted namespace, right? The double dotted domain namespace. That's absolutely a tell that something's fishy. No pun intended. Other things you can do with this. You can, once you verify that it's a problem, you can now redirect users to your application via the app firewall to a site warning them that they've possibly been phished. In the same way that I've uploaded this data to Splunk, I can put this into a JSON stringified blob, and you can send that to the FSISEC or another ISEC warning them that, hey, this URI is consistent with a referrer that's a known phisher. Those are some of the things that you can do. So again, yes, you can do this with logs, but it's pretty expensive to do that, and it's pretty time consuming. There's a lot of friction around that, and it is forensic. Here, we could immediately send an API call to OpenDNS to black hole that DNS domain, that you've been phished.cn domain. We could just black hole that. There's a lot of things that you can now do, and you can do it quickly, as you saw there. That happened within seconds. If you're working with an API, that will actually happen in milliseconds. Thanks so much for watching. Again, this is John Smith, security engineer for Extra Hop Networks.